Welcome, everybody, to Sacred Profit Sunday Fuel, where we go over video game news for traders. These are games by gamers for traders. You can't be a good trader unless you game. This week, Horizon Zero Dawn. Should we play it as a trader or not? Peter, opinion?
Horizon Zero Dawn. I don't play video games, so I don't even know.
Excommunicated. That's going to be my new catchphrase.
No.
I just point to people and I say, excommunicated. I think that works.
All right, you're peeking there for a second. Although there is some logic to playing video games as a correlate to performance. Surgeons who play video games or fast twitch video games actually perform better.
Late 5% more for their jobs. Yeah, I know. I get that. If you play like 4E games, Civilization, that sort of game. If you play The Witness, I mean, if someone says that they played The Witness and The Witness is one of the top 5 games, top 10 games, I go, okay, I think they could actually pay attention to the markets, because you got to be able to look into the depths of the market through your own pain and frustration and learn a new vernacular with an assumption that there's something there. Right? It's sort of like astrology.
Of course.
Astrology, up until very recently, I thought was just a complete, what are you talking about? Astrology, tarot, horary, all the stuff. I thought it was complete nonsense. And then I realized it is almost like more scientific than technical analysis, because technical analysis is newer. There's no Hellenistic technical analysis code. We're the new baby ones, thinking that we're the crap. You know what I mean? But it turns out that reading charts is going in the direction of astrology, which means it's becoming more scientific, more useful, more representative of what's actually going to happen. So we're in Sacred Profit. Sacred Profit is a new fuel.
They're going to go to consensus. They're going to pull up your most recent video. They're going to hear about video games and astrology. This is great. It's wonderful.
I'm not ashamed about anything that I believe or say. Okay,
you should be.
Not because I shouldn't be, but because I miss that core inside of me. I'm sort of like, I see myself as Sylar from Heroes mixed with the heart of Samuel from Heroes season 4.
Those are two bad guys.
Samuel wanted the world to be a better place, and Gabriel wanted himself to be a better place. So I'm like those two things together. Okay. Samuel needed people around him in order for his power to work. That's how I feel. I need all my acolytes to be paying attention to me in order for me to have the power. I could only intercede with the Lord of Liquidity through you. On my own, I'm sort of nothing. But the more people who pay attention to me, the more powerful I become, and the more accurate my predictions become. So if actually you want the most out of this, send this off to not just 5 people, freaking everybody that you know. Send it to everybody that you know repeatedly, constantly. Send them the full stream, send them the clips. Make new clips out of it. Send like 10 seconds, get those views up. Just do whatever you can, because it can become more powerful. And if you don't, well, I just do the Sylar thing, and I eat people's pineal glands in order to get power.
Oh my God. Okay, I mean, okay.
Spoilers, I'm sorry. Spoilers for Heroes Season 1.
I think all the people who are younger than us have no idea what you're talking about. Unless
Peter, you have to watch Heroes. I made my kids watch Heroes. Everyone's got to watch Heroes. One of the best superhero TV shows ever. Welcome, everyone, to Sacred Profit. This is Sunday Fuel, where we go over the trades from the week's past and the trades for the week ahead. This week coming up, we have Consensus 2025, where Peter and I will be on the floor, interviewing, whining and dining, and seeing how we can take Sacred Profit to the next level. But before then, we have the trades from the week past. Peter, let's head over to the charts.
Bitcoin is doing pretty well here.
Bitcoin's doing well. Actually, Bitcoin's doing better. Bitcoin is doing better now than it was than I predicted. I was saying that I was expecting a pullback to 91.8 for Consensus 2025, as well as then a rise to 101.8 for Bitcoin at the Bitcoin conference for Vegas at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
or if you're like us, by the Jimmy Dore comedy show in Montreal. Whichever one is the bigger event inside of your life, it'll be one of those two things. It'll be one of those two things that you're actually tied to.
I like these references that you make that like 2% of the population will know.
Well,
Jimmy
I always wanted to have this. It's what Pete Holmes calls laser jokes. They're just for one person, but that one person, I mean, it's like the whole universe conspired to have the synchronicity that's meeting them right there. I've always wanted to have a dating website that you have to answer 1,000 questions and put in every movie that you like and put in, all the music, whatever it is. And if you match, it's only if you match some unreasonable degree that you ever see that person, and then immediately you're best friends. I mean, you're like, look,
yeah, but
we're gonna get along very well, or we're gonna be like,
yeah, but what,
man? But
when it comes to dating, finding someone who's exactly like you is not the goal. I mean, that's kind of boring. All right, you've just revealed yourself. All right, here, your desktop's ready. Go explain Bitcoin. The previous week, I was expecting a pullback, or I was hoping for a pullback from to Bitcoin all the way down to the. I've been calling for 80,000 potentially for a while now. The weekly trade for last week was what was it, 91.8? So that's where we were hoping to get the pullback to. We didn't get there. We only got we got near it, but not anywhere close that considers it mitigated. And we certainly didn't get to the 84.6 level from the week before, or the 80,000 from the week before that. So the weekly trades have been a wash. But remember, I've been saying this entire time, we're in this bull run right now. Right. So the idea, we were used to it in the consolidation range for the price to move through all these different levels. But when the liquidity hits in, and that's what we're writing, we got to expect that the price is just going to keep rising up and up and up. Now, it actually moved up higher than I thought it would, but not higher than where we said it could be. So last week when we were talking about the price move up, we were saying that these levels here, this level here at 96.6 and then the level here at 97.6 were still in play. Right? So we did actually move up to those levels right there for the following week. So our levels are working, the indicators are working the way they're supposed to. They're letting you know where the price is likely to go. Now, the next level up after that was at 104. I actually didn't really pay attention to this 104 level. I didn't see it, but the price went straight up over there. So just keep in mind that when the price moves, it's not a mystery where it moves to, right? If we get an unmitigated level for VWAP, chances are that's where the price is going to settle. And now we have all we have now is all-time highs, and then there's no other levels to look for at the top. So when I was looking for the 10-15% correction down over here, that's because I didn't actually pay attention to this level that was at the top. I didn't know that the price could still be pulled there. Right, so that's on me. I'm not perfect. I'll make these tools better and better and better, but that's just what we have to live with. You can rest comfortably in the knowledge that the indicators are right. That's what I was about to ask. If you had the indicators, you would have been able to see it.
Well, it's not perfect. So what happens is that there's only a certain amount of lines that could show up on the chart because it's showing levels all the way back to wherever. So what happened over here is that this line actually only showed up once the price crossed it. So when we're over here, a little bit further back. Oh no, it was actually there. I just didn't see it. Especially since it's a daily line, I don't generally chase daily lines. I only really deal with them when they're nearby a weekly level that I'm looking at. That's when I really pay attention to it. But I should pat myself on the back. The indicator did show it to me. I just didn't surface it in our conversations, especially since it was so far away from this level over here. I just wasn't anticipating for it to go all the way back up, but it did. But now we definitely have no more levels at the top over here. We have trend lines, but we have no more VWAP levels at the top, which means the propensities for the price to move to the downside if it's searching for liquidity. But if we take a look at the global liquidity chart, we're noticing that we're on this trajectory, on this rise up that we were talking about ever since 74, that we're going to rise up basically till July, where we'll have this consolidation range for at least a month,
which I think might be a topping maneuver, and then we'll actually fall. We'll see. But essentially, this is what we're looking at right now, where if we're going to fall, like now we have an even higher likelihood of falling down, and we could again fall all the way down to this 80,000 level, which is 25% down. Totally possible.
Yeesh.
Is it likely? I don't know. I was actually looking at that this week. I've been doing analysis. If you take a look at previous things, so our chart is similar to where we are right now, where liquidity is similar to where we are right here. And so here the liquidity started moving up. We had the price move up dramatically. And we did have a 10% drop over here, which is why I was calling for a 10 to 15% drop. This is the type of drop I was actually expecting. It didn't happen. And once the price starts moving up, over here we had a drop that was 10%. Again, this is why I keep expecting a 10% drop. So I do believe at some point we're going to be headed back down to our nearest VWAP level, which starting tonight at 8 p.m. will be around the 99.3 level. We'll know for sure what that number is at between 8 and 10 p.m., but around that level, and that would result in a peak to trough 5% down. So I think it could even go as far as to the $95,000 level. A pullback like that, but we can't really bet on that. It doesn't necessarily have to happen. And once we get closer over here, you'll remember, Peter, I was talking about last week that I was expecting a dip around was it May 4th, and then 7 days after that on the 11th. So we did get that dip over here. We got the dip last week where it pulled back down, but it didn't even get down to the weekly level. Like that was what my trade was, to get down to the weekly level. It didn't work. It went back up. And so the next one of those little types of dips will be coming up, basically between now and the 16th of May, which would be smack dab in the middle of consensus. So I wouldn't be surprised then if we then get down to 100, 9,500. You really want to wait for these types of dips and moves when you're trading at 50x leverage. All right. I know I like to play around and joke around a lot, but I'm not for people just throwing away their money. And if you go, well, Tom, what happens if no dip and it just runs? Well, you should already have your bag, right? You should already have your bag that you're not trading. That's your long-term holding of the asset. If we think that it's going to go to 200,000 now, or $1 million later on, I don't even know why people wouldn't have that bag. You have your bag. The dips here, the 50x leverage, we're just waiting for perfect setups in order to get that. If that doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen. And then you look at the trade. So I actually haven't taken a bunch of trades now over the last 2 weeks because the setups are just not there. I have my orders that are placed at my VWAP levels. If the price sticks there, fine, I'll get filled. And if that doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen. Actually, every once in a while, I'll take a 2.5 position short, because the higher we go, the bigger the pullback down. Right? And chances are that somehow we'll get to 80,000. Chances are, not guaranteed. We can end up moving up so high that eventually we mitigate that just as far as the waves are concerned. But if it does happen, well, every time I take my 2.5% trade higher and higher and higher, I have that much more lower that I can go. You know what I mean?
I get it.
So,
but
for the
should we
trades,
be afraid that it goes down low? I mean, we shouldn't be afraid about that, because then you're not saying we go low and then the cycle ends and we go to...
No, cycle's not going to end until earliest is July, we're seeing right now. However, what I'm seeing also is that if we take a look at the dollar, let's just head to our financial conditions. What we're seeing with the dollar here is that the dollar fell below the 100 level. If you guys remember, this 100 level over here is the level that's been like sustained for years and years and years and years. COVID had tried to break above. It fell during the great run-up after COVID. We went above it during the recession, and then we bounced along the 100 level, and then we actually broke down. So what we're getting here is that the price for the dollar fell, and then now rose back up to test the 100 level. Why am I talking about the dollar? Because the dollar is the other side of the liquidity. right? When we're talking about liquidity, global dollar liquidity, we're talking about the availability of dollars within the global financial system. Everyone, everywhere, in all these countries needs dollars. Whether you're an individual or sovereign entity, chances are you're coming into contact directly or indirectly with dollars. You're not coming into direct contact with Canadian dollars or Australian dollars or the rupee, right? Generally speaking, but you're going to come into contact with the dollar. And so the lower that the dollar goes, the lower that the DXY, the value of the dollar goes, it means that people are selling the dollar, right? They're selling the dollar, that's what's going down, to buy assets. Right? It's always a transfer. You're going from cash to assets, from cash to assets, from cash to assets. So the dollars are going down. People are selling out of that. And that money is going into assets. And we say liquidity is up because the assets are going up, but that's because people are trading the dollars for that asset.
And Bitcoin is an asset.
And Bitcoin is an asset. So when the dollar goes down, generally speaking, assets sensitive to liquidity go up. And that's why we're seeing such a drastic fall. This fall, this break of 100, it hadn't happened. Forever since when's the last time it was above? Since 2003. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't happened for quite a while. Before the last two crises, in the .com crisis, and so this is the confirmation that could be happening, and then we're going to be headed lower, which could propel Bitcoin higher. We don't know for sure. But the reason I'm mentioning that is that if I'm going to be taking a look at the dollar, if this consolidation phase, this is a fake out, like a fake breakdown, and what we're doing is that this oscillation is just going to keep on going for a while, and we're going to have another leg up, and then down, and then up, and then down. Let's say, then this will result in a down of the dollar, of the Bitcoin. Chances are, because if the dollar is going up, that's deflationary. That means there's a demand for dollars, which means people are selling assets and buying the dollars, and then that causes the price of those assets to go down and the dollar to go up, at least the trade-weighted dollar to go up. So if that happens, then I could totally expect to see Bitcoin, if the dollar does that and gets back up, let's say to over here, I could totally, which is around 105, I could totally see Bitcoin headed back down to 80. Like, why not? Nothing says it has to keep going up and up, even if the liquidity is there. So we'll see. And the liquidity run up that we've had, part of it is because of the liquidations, right? So we keep taking a look at these liquidation charts. Let me just pull this back here, and you guys can see on the 30-day. This is just spot checking. You guys can go to coinglass.com and look at it for yourself. But essentially, we've been paying attention to see how the levered participants for crypto have been dealing with in the markets. So the short positions for Bitcoin grew as Bitcoin was falling. Those short positions grow because people become more and more confident that Bitcoin's going to go down. So they're placing short bets. And then there was like billions of dollars of shorts versus millions of dollars of longs. And what do I say all the time? Those shorts eventually have to cover. Right? The longs don't necessarily have to cover if the price keeps going up, because a price can go up, a chart can go up infinitely, whereas it can only go down 100%. So no matter what, whenever someone is shorting, they're always taking more risk, because the charts have a propensity to go up and to the right, unless there's a fundamental problem with the thing and you're trying to short it to zero. Some company is going into bankruptcy, something's going to be delisted or whatever. Chances are the chart's going to recover. So the shorts are taking more of a risk. And because of that, they're looking to, but the reason they do it is that when you're shorting something, the price moves more dramatically in the short time frame. It crashes more than the price steadily goes up. And so people take those shorts because you can make so much more money quickly. So if that's happening, you get this buildup of shorts, of billions of dollars for shorts, and that means that when they have to cover their positions, either because they're in profit or because they're getting liquidated, billions of dollars go back into the charts. They're selling their shorts, means they have to buy back the Bitcoin from the open market, well, the futures, to cover their positions. They're forced buyers, which is bullish. And so now we're down to the point where if we're spot checking, this number used to be at 4 billion before for shorts. Now it's 1 billion versus 250 million long. And on this other one, you're at 3 billion short, whereas we were at like 10 billion short, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of months ago. So we're still lopsided for the short side. Like there's still more shorts than there are longs, which is what causes these prices. Whenever you see these gaps in prices like this, right? Forget if there's news or whatever is going on, or what Trump tweeted, or what's happening with the Federal Reserve or whatever. Those are shorts being liquidated, right? These air pockets come in and doom, they get liquidated. Liquidated means that the shorts are the exchanges that they're short on force their positions to be covered. So you get this zoom, move up in prices and then stabilize because there's an air pocket. So if that's still going on, we still have 2 to 4 times more shorts than we have longs. We can easily get to 120,000 on Bitcoin without breaking a sweat. So if this week we get up to the trend line up here at 116,000 on Bitcoin, I would not be surprised at all. In fact, I'm long right now, and I only take occasional shorts depending on what the price is. I'm ready to turn my position short though. I would love to write this down to 80,000, but then I'm a doomsdayer, and I like when the charts go down because that means I have an opportunity to go up later. So all right, so those are the trades that we saw last week are essentially the price moved directly to our VWAP levels, but I didn't call out any trades. There's nothing really to call out. You can trade these levels if you want, but unless we get perfect entries, that's not our style. For the week coming up, we're looking for potentially Bitcoin getting to 116,000 as more of the shorts get liquidated, but I would not be surprised that we head down lower because we don't have any more VWAP levels, unmitigated VWAP levels above us. So do I think we get to 80,000 this week? No, but it could. It could happen within a week. It could happen in 2 weeks or whatever. It could go down there. But I'm sure it's not very fun for everyone to hear that. No, tell me the gangbusters trade. Well, the gangbusters trade was down here around 74. I mean, I don't know how it gets much better than that. Give me a few more months for the charts to make other significant moves, and I'll set you up on another 20,000% gain. Sorry, not 20,000%, 2,000% gain, 20x move on your assets. Until then, don't worship me.
So you talked about the previous week. Were you clear about what? It sounded like you were, but were you clear about the upcoming week?
For the week ahead, there's no trade to look for, right? If you want to be long and you want to play the long, sometimes in this position, if my long position and my short position are equal in likelihood, I just take both sides, and when I go into profit, whichever side it is, I just let it run. Right? So I let it run so that my long position covers the cost of my short, and my short positions will cover the cost of the long. So don't put on 2.5% long, 2.5% short, and then as soon as you make 100% profit on your long position, cover your position. And certainly, that'd be ridiculous. And don't add to, if the price moves in one direction, don't add to the other direction because you just want to see, you're not sure if the price is going to come back in. Don't do that. If you're going to play both sides, put on both positions and then let it run, and then you'll make your money. If it's going to move, 200, 300%, 400%, you'll be fine with it. But you can get whipsawed in that. Your long and short can get whipsawed out, and so that's why I don't really call out that type of trade. But if you wanted to do that, you could. If you're looking for the home run trade, the trade for next week, the target is not a home run trade. It's not a home run trade. If you're looking for the weekly trade, that's to around 99,000 or 100,000. That's where the price should pull back to. We'll find that out on our indicators at around 8 o'clock, and we'll see.
Here's a reminder that Sacred Profit and the indicators provided can make you money up, down, or sideways. We are going to be entering a period at some point where people are going to be like, the sky's falling, it's no good. But here, in the congregation of Sacred Profit, we won't worry, right? When it rains, when the sun is out, we're happy. When it rains, we're happy.
Well, we make far more money in revelations as the price falls down because the charts move way faster down. We know all the levels it's going to go to because we could see the levels. And oftentimes in a bear market, you get these bounces that are like 20% bounces, right? And so in a down market, let's say you get a peak to trough from the peak down to 80% on Bitcoin, you might get a ton of 30% bounce in between. So you can make oodles of money if you have a 50x leverage trade system like we've been talking about, or some of the other indicators inside of our library. You can make tons of money that way. So I'm like excited. I really don't care what price Bitcoin gets to. I just want it to be volatile and keep moving, because a fisherman fishes. Let the Texas Rangers worry about the health of the ecosystem and all that. Let the Federal Reserve, the high priests, worry about what a financial condition should be like. You just give me the charts, and we'll just trade it. We trust in the Lord of liquidity, and the Lord of liquidity giveth, and the Lord of liquidity taketh away, till you are dryeth like a. I was going to swear, but I don't want to be blasphemous here.
Dry like a what, Tom? Do you have any opinions, any thoughts? Are you aware about the bill or whatever that the Dems squashed regarding stable coins in the crypto space? Donald Trump was disappointed about that.
Not at all.
All right. You don't pay attention to that. You just look at the charts, do you?
Well, you get caught up in narratives, right? The other day, I got caught up in narratives because I'm looking at the 10-year to 4.3%. And that's like, I mean, I know it sounds wonky. That's you want me to care about this sort of thing so that you guys don't have to. I am your fearless leader, and I will lead you to the promised land. And looking at a 4.3% on the 10-year, I've never seen that. I mean, we saw it in the inflation, but I haven't seen that in my life. We know 0% interest rates. I know how the chart works with 0% interest rates. QE, print, baby, print. Right. And then the more they printed, the more deflationary that was, even though people thought it was going to be inflationary. Sorry, Peter Schiff. It's actually deflationary. And so we know how to play that. There's the wide divide between the rich and the poor as that happens. And then you invest into assets and real estate in order to make more money. And you just let the Jerome Powells of the world make your bags get bigger. Well, you don't have that at 4.3%. You just don't. They don't have the same room for QE. They're trying to print. That's what we've been seeing, but then it causes inflationary effects. So you have the stagflation. So we'll see how that's going to go. There is a question that and then so you can get confused by the narratives. Oh, the bonds went up 75 basis points. This is the biggest spike in the last 13 months. I go, oh, maybe I shouldn't put my trade on. And then I see my trade work exactly the way it's supposed to, and I'm not in it. I go, what was I worried about? Every time I listen to these people, they steer me wrong. Every time they have their YouTube videos, this is the end. Could this be the end? The housing crisis collapsing. You won't believe what excommunicated. I am the path. I am the way. I will intercede with the Lord of liquidity on my own behalf. All right. I let the holy. What's going to be my term for that? Term for Holy Spirit, but for sacred prophet. I let it sit over my heart. I let it sit over me, and then I could see the chart, and I could see it: blonde, brunette, redhead. I get it. And only after a big move happens, and I've profited from it, I look back to go, what was the news of the day? Oh, right, my buddy JP was talking. I wonder what he said, and then I go check on it in the past. Otherwise, you just get confused. I do want to mention. All right, so we want to wrap up the show, but I do want to mention we're very excited. It looks like we're almost to the point where we're going to be dipping our toes, launching the Sacred Prophet product, where you're going to be able to get access to the indicators. You're going to be able to get access to some exclusive shows with us. We're really going to be ramping into gear here. I know you guys have been watching these charts with me week by week. All 4,000 of you. You guys are awesome. You guys are fantastic. Love each and every one of my acolytes. But time to get these tools into your own hands. Now, some of you guys have it already. You've already messaged me. You have access to it. But I want you to have a way of getting access to more. Plus, people who messaged me, they didn't even get access to all the indicators. I have like 40 indicators. We don't even go through all of those. You guys see stuff on my charts, and you're like, how do I get that? I haven't even talked about those yet. They're from cycles. They're from the holy the holy set from they're in tomes. There's all kinds of different things coming down the pike. So that'll be we're going to start opening the doors this week, and let's see how that works. Let's confirm with the no guarantee. We'll confirm with the developers, see everything can be set up properly. But that's exciting, and we're going to be a consensus. If you guys are a consensus, Peter, your boy Peter and Tom will be there. Don't touch us. Don't come up to us or even look at us really. But if you see us and you like post on Twitter, that's great. Like that's the kind of interaction I want. Like, what's the use of you wasting your breath talking to me in person?
No.
What can I do with that? I can't share that.
Yeah,
I can't do anything with that. What you want to be doing is putting it online. And you know what? If you post online and then you come up to me and say, "Hey Tom, I posted this thing online," and you show it to me, then we have something to talk about. We have something that I care, where there's a reason for me to, because you have to understand, Peter, I'm constantly in connection with the Lord of Liquidity. And when some pleb comes up to me and just wants to shake my hand for nothing, I go, "Where's your tithe? Give your 10%. Give 10% of your tweets got to go to all secret profit over here. How else you to get to the promised land?" So that's what I want. That's what I want.
Just you want. Okay.
And I'll be a nice guy. Well, you show me those tweets. You better show me those tweets. And if it's a Facebook post, excommunicated. God.
So
dang it. Dang it. All right.
Oh, God.
I don't want them to be disappointed. And more importantly, I don't want to be disappointed in them.
I think you'll be fine. I don't think anybody's going to walk up to you.
All right. I hope you're excited, Peter.
I'm very excited. They got lots to do. I'm nervous.
Our 2-day trip turned into a 5-day trip, but
yeah,
might as well. A lot of things to film, a lot of people to see. I hope I get to interview old Charles Hoskinson. Frankly, he's the only person I really want to. No, I want to interview him. I want to interview someone from Story. I want to interview someone from Rumble. I'll have to.
What would you ask Chuck?
Charlie, what I'm going to ask him, Hosky, what I want to know is, I don't think enough people. Two things. I want him to really know that there's people who are not like tech oriented in the way that like developers are, who very much appreciate what he's created and the example that he set. I think he's the kind of a person that if it was, he has found in father energy. And you know, you look back at the stories of John Adams and of Alexander Hamilton and whatever, and these people rose against adversity, try to make something of themselves and became something greater in a time, and they weren't even going to live at the time that they saw. And you show me the difference between starting a nation and starting a multi-billion-dollar cryptocurrency ecosystem, constitution, bringing together people all around the world. I don't see how that's much different than the United States. Like, I really don't. And I don't like that that's not said more. Sorry, what'd you say?
Doesn't involve weapons.
Right. But it doesn't, but it's like people ostracized from the existing system wanted to start something new in a barren land that they had to cultivate themselves, not knowing what it could turn into. With hostile forces there, they don't know how to interact with. All that seems like the same ingredients. I feel like I'm part of the same energy. And it sort of annoys me that people in, even people who like Cardano, don't like begin the conversation with that. Like, no, this thing is not just some cryptocurrency, you know, like Pepe or SafeMoon. That's not what this is. Just like how Bitcoin was revolutionary in its own right, and Ethereum revolutionary in their own right, and a bunch of these other ones. The thing that's revolutionary about Cardano is how they went about it and what it actually turned into.
Totally.
You can't show me a second one that's like this. And that to me is actually matters. And it feels very founder energy. The second part is I want to know more about the where he's expecting to see the fire take place, the hype take place. Not in terms of like, what are the things on the back burner in the space that he just doesn't think we've appreciated just how fire that might be. And I want him to get it as succinct as possible. I'm trying to get it as succinct as possible as him. And I want to feel that sensationalism from him. I want to see what's inside of his heart, what he's actually excited by. I know he's excited by Midnight Token, so I'll just throw that out there just so he doesn't have to have to talk about it, because I'm excited about that too. But I really want to see what are the deals, what are the things that are coming that we're just not hearing about. Because if I have to hear one more person ask him just the most generic freaking questions, excommunicated. So I'm excited to have those conversations there.
That question kind of makes you feel like OpenAI, where they're like, they have the large language model. Okay, it's great, it's amazing, everybody got used to it. Then they come out with Sora, and okay, it's cool, but people don't really use. They do these. It can see your apps and voice and all that, but then they come out with image generation.
Right.
And people freaking lose their minds, and they're like, this was the thing. So what's that thing for Cardano? What's the thing that's on the back burner? Maybe you even underestimated, but it comes out and it's amazing. What I want to know, and I don't know if this is a question for Charles or Cardano, but I want to know, when is it going to happen where I can transfer Bitcoin to someone or crypto to someone and not like be puckering my whole, like, holy smokes, man, I gotta stop living this fear, and I gotta be checking these long strings. Like, how is the average person gonna do this? There's no way we're gonna get mainstream adoption of people like, you better check that address, and hackers can swap the address with your copy and paste, and you're like, what the hell is this? This is so much fear.
Well, I understand that, but it's like that's like when shares or bonds, bearer bonds,
right?
Where, well, if you wherever the bond was, whoever had it owned it. Like, they could cash it. There was not tied to your name or anything like that. And that's sort of like how I see this. Like, can you imagine before? So we talk about this stuff, but we're used to our money being in a bank somewhere, right? Can you imagine that your house went up in flames and your money was burnt, right? Mm-hmm. Or someone just took your gold off of you, some cut purse or whatever. That to me is how it feels in the crypto space. Sometimes your thing could just go up in flames. Right. People go, did you have a safe? Well, I thought I had a safe. Did you have a Smith & Wesson safe? No, I didn't have a Smith. Oh, well, then your thing is gone. And you just like, that's what happens sometimes. And I'll go die of dysentery in the woods somewhere. That's what it feels like. So what I want is not for crypto to change. What I want is for the new institutions to start. I want for the first, what's going to be the new institutions for the next 80 years. That's what I want to see. And so that's what I would want, like, Cardano to talk about and pioneer. They're already trying to do that with governance. So it started off like with the process, but where is our contract law? Where do disagreements get resolved? What kind of what's the pipeline for that funding? That's not just everyone has to go to the same place, where there's different institutions who have different access to it, so that you can appeal for different reasons. What are the government programs, if there's going to be government programs? I want to see more of those sort of things, because once those things happen, well, then people will have their money in an equivalent of a bank, the next generation of that, without having to deal with the underlying crypto issue. That'll be up to the institution to worry about, and you'll have insurance at the institution the same way that you have at FDIC, bank coverage if something's lost or blah, blah, blah. That's how I see it anyway.
All right. Well,
I did want to ask you, we were talking about doing, what do you call it? A vibe stream? What are those lo-fi streams called? Like what we were talking about the other day, where people can tune in and they can hear some music. They hear some
soundscape, something like that. Cityscape.
I don't know. But I was interested to see if anybody out there is interested. If you're like me and you work at home, you work remote, and you sort of feel like lonely, or I thought it might be nice for us to set up basically a permanent live stream or a near permanent live stream, where we have either me or Peter or both of us set up in rooms, and you can sort of watch the live stream and you'll hear a little bit of talking. You'll hear some of the videos that I've been watching. You get some breaking news. You get some nice music. Just like being in.
Get to see you.
get to see me code, right? Get to be like in an office space, and you get things more off the dome as they happen. Trade setups that I think are particularly interesting. Just to shoot that out there, because I know I would love to see that, like just having something up in a room and someone like me, just like me specifically, there to watch, and just have that on in the background for 3 to 4 hours a day. I'm just curious if anybody else would like something like that, a permanent live stream experience like that, or if you're consuming anything like that already, you can send it over my way. That'd be interesting. But did you do any research after that, Peter? Did you see if anyone was doing anything similar to what we're talking about?
No, I haven't done any research. I've experienced kind of things like that with Twitch, but mostly they're speaking to you or directing to you or just playing music. Playing music is the
Right.
closest thing that I've seen that. I love the playing music thing, but yeah, nothing like this exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be it for this week. We're going to be back next Sunday, as always, with more Sunday Fuel, because you guys are my children, and I will not abandon my flock. I wanted to actually call the people who participate in Sacred Prophet a murder, like a murder of crows, but I wasn't sure how readily people will get to that, and if it sounded too
Murdery.
white supremacist.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit. Yeah. Maybe don't.
Because they say crows are real smart.
I bet their dolphins are smart too. Maybe just a pack of dolphins.
I don't know. They do some questionable things, dolphins.
All right, this is spiraling.
I saw this one dolphin once, this video of a dolphin, and it did you know that it's illegal in like most countries to try to communicate with dolphins and whales?
What? That's not
It's illegal to try to communicate with them.
No, that's not true.
Yep. It's a maritime law. It's been around for a while now. And you excuse me? Why don't you just say dolphins can speak? Whales can speak.
That's right.
Why not just say that? How do you put a law like that and people are not going to be like, what's going on? But you try to do a study and just spin up a study. I'm going to talk to dolphins. Excuse me, sir. You need to come with us. What?
But they
How long have you talked to the dolphins? What? We need the tapes. We need the tapes, and we need you to come with me.
With AI, they're doing it
Honey?
with AI.
Honey, where are they taking you? Don't worry, Melissa. Press the button, Melissa. Burn the drives. You look out in the ocean. A tear down their cheek. It's illegal.
You're using AI to communicate with dolphins.
Who?
Well, I can't tell you the names of the people, but I know for sure they're using AI to be able to translate dolphin speak. And
Oh, sorry.
or
If
translate
it's sanctioned, there's some sanctioned people who are allowed to do it, but they work for like the WEF and the CCP or whatever. So obviously, they're working.
We should give psilocybin mushrooms to dolphins to see if they accelerate their evolution.
I don't think we need their evolution to be accelerated. Did you hear what dolphins do to people?
Yeah, I have heard. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
You start giving them Molly and mushrooms. I don't know what's going to happen.
Don't say it. They're very, very much more like people than we realize. Don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Because they're out there just like.
Okay, stop. I'm stopping this scene. All right.